All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna the Micronauts, the new Voyage issue number 4 from Marvel Comics. I must say this cover is a little bit confusing because I had to look a couple of times what's happening here. So this is the face of Arcturus, who's the leader of the Micronauts, and then looking at closely, these are two robots basically getting melted or destroyed, Biotron and Microtron. But it took me a while to realize that what's going on. So this is the head. And this is also the head. Moving on. So we're gonna do this. In the last issue, they are trying to escape a planet because the planet was killing them in a shuttle, and then some arms grabbed out of the ground, grabbed the shuttle, and then they're being brought down into below in a planet. So we have all these people. So these are the Micronauts, right? And they want to know what's happened and where they are now, and there's readings that is incomprehensible. So the team or people said, hey, let's go outside and see what's happening. But then they say, hey, what about the atmosphere, right? A little bit of a context. So in the last issue, the whole planet was covered in some kind of a liquid representing mirrors. So then the sun comes up and turned this whole planet surface into one giant laser. So yeah, now this is what the outside is looking, and it looks pretty alien. And this is what I want in science fiction comics. I wanted to see stuff, also in fantasy comics, by the way. I want to see stuff that I haven't seen before, or that is just cool to watch, right? Anyway, so they're going outside and run through some corridors, and also seeing some strange energies, readings, and devices. And then they are coming into some kind of a chamber that looks like a living quarter, right? And so they are trying to push some buttons in and try to figure it out, what's going on. Meanwhile, Biotron and Microtron are, being blasted by the sun's energy. Well, more the sunlight has been reflected from the surface, and they need to get out of here before they are now burned to a crisp, right? So they try to do the land on the surface of the planet and behind some kind of a structure or mountain. And this reminds me of I believe it was the Chronicles of Riddick with Vin Diesel. I believe movie 2, movie 3. I'm not entirely sure. When he was tried to escape the sunlight, and he had to hide behind these walls, otherwise he would be dead. But then they are not out of the woods yet, because they realize that this particular hiding place is one giant prison, a transparent crystal, and basically they are on the other side, because the reading's telling them so. So when the sunlight hits it, and this is the on the other side, they're getting blasted again. So they are saying, wait, hey, we need to go underground and try to escape. And they have these tiny little small legs that looks like a, AT from Star Wars, but then smaller. But then they're still getting blasted by the sunlight, and they are melting, right? Poor guys. But then something happens. I'm not entirely sure what happens here, but the narrative says, and then through every circuit of the bodies, there pours a giant impulse coded into the laser pulse by some unknown mechanism. The symbolic shapes burn themselves into the electronic nervous systems of the two robots. Robots? Then they know no more. Okay, interesting. And they are, almost destroyed, but probably still living. But then there's some lights flickering on, and Mary here, I believe that's how you say it. Is it Mary? Marionette, sorry. She says, I don't know what's happening here, and I cannot figure it out what to do here. And it seems that all the equipment and communications are a little bit too alien for them all. But then she is just pushing some buttons, and then there's something starting to glow, and she's been hit with someone, and she's been unconscious. Well, Buck says, well, she's dead. Well, no, she's still alive. And then Ron here, the leader of the team, is also getting hit by something that is coming out of this panel, I guess. And then they are somewhere else. This is a dream, by the way, or maybe an illusion. And this is in the past, I believe, or maybe, like I said, a hologram. I'm not sure. But there's a fair, a dance, and it seems that Rann, who is a prince, he is pretty popular with the women. He has also a wife that he doesn't love anymore or something. But this time he comes alone. And then I believe this is a rival of his, rival prince. And the narrative says that he is a fop, F-O-P. He is a fop that Rann has never seen before. Is that, I don't know what a fop is. Is that some slang? I don't know. Maybe I need to look that up. 80s slang, probably. Not sure. Anyway, so this guy is starting to dance with her, and he's just looking, and he feels something, right? So he's also picking up a girl and dancing while moving closer to this couple, if they are a couple, and he looks at her the whole time, right? And she noticed that. And but then before something happens, lights flickering again, and then we go to our heroes, to Buck, Hunter, and Acroyear. And then out of nowhere, some humanoid robots come here and they are attacking them. I must say I like Acroyear's form, with all this dark metal and bright metal, and also with this cross on his face. And he explains that before he was a warrior, was also a monk or something like that, a priest. I'm sorry, a priest. So maybe there's a small religious undertone that is here in his form, with the red and the white and the cross, like a Templar, maybe. Just maybe I'm far-reaching, but who knows? But I like Acroyear, and they are defending themselves, right? But they say, well, this is pretty easy. They go down really quickly, and even what's his name again? Sorry, Hunter is is getting used to his new form, his new body, and he's also talking about his friend Wolverine. So he's just doing the claw thingy. Because they met in the X-Men Micronauts limited series, by the way. And it looked cool, but a little bit too easy. But then it's getting harder and harder. There's more and more coming, and not only it's getting more, there's more coming. There's also, how do you say, they are more difficult to defeat. So normally you would, I don't know, take a swing and be destroyed. But he says, well, it takes more punches now to get rid of them. But then Hunter is changing, and so some tusks coming from his chin, and that emanates some kind of electromagnetic waves, and seems to be ideally attuned to these robots. It must be another unknown power given by that strange alien we encountered elsewhere in the microverse, right? So, and then somehow these robots retreat, and they think they are scared. Well, Microyear says, well, how can they be scared? They're robots. They don't have feelings, right? Meanwhile, in the dream world, Marionette is approaching Rann, and he says, hey, do I know you from something? Where are we? And he says, in dreams. And he started to dance with her, right? And they feel that they know each other. Meanwhile, another danger is approaching for our other heroes. So this is some kind of a machine that is powering up and is blasting some energy, right? Like very powerful, blasting them in a way. And so Hunter is grabbing on. Buck is now safe too. Even Acroyear, but he's not as nimble. So he uses his other, well, not really powers, but more his experience. And he has also some kind of an energy sword. So he says, well, I'm going to use my sword to blast in this energy wave. And then maybe something happens. Maybe, this wave is getting destroyed, or this equipment gets destroyed, but then nothing. Vanish? That wasn't what I expected. Look, the shuttlecraft's moving into that recess, and then they notice that the walls are coming closer and closer and closer. Meanwhile, in the dream world, Rann is getting confronted by his wife, I believe, or maybe a lover, and he doesn't know how to react, and he says, He says that what you and I had was a long time ago. And she says, come, Arcturus, dancing with is one of my greatest pleasures. Don't spoil it by telling me now you don't love me anymore. Just hold me close. And then these, our heroes are getting squashed. And Acreus says, "Hey, Buck, can you use your staff to pull, to put it between the walls?" So he does that, holding off the walls while ripping open the panels and asking Hunter, "Hey, can you do some damage here? Maybe, the walls would stop." Now, the whole walls thing reminds me a little bit of the one time that the X-Men and Spider-Man were kidnapped by the villain Arcade, and he puts them in some kind of a fun house and giant pinball machine with robots and mirrors where robots coming out trying to kill them. It was great. And also when Colossus was brainwashed in that by Arcade, and he became the proletarian and wants to kill the X-Men. It was great. So this reminds me a little bit of that, although this is more crude. And meanwhile, this guy says to him, "I have never seen such a dance as you two danced. Well, my partner, he was..." "Tell me, my lord, who might he be?" "Well, his name is Arcturus Rann. We have learned so much from you. Absolutely unprecedented." And Iphone says, "We? Who is we?" So she noticed that something is off, and she says, "Arcturus, where are we, Arcturus?" Basically breaking the spell, and they come to themselves again. And then, oh no, we have some aliens coming out, and they say, "Yay, you passed the test." And I thought, what? And so, yeah, they're basically watching from afar and doing all these weird tests. So it was all a hologram or an illusion or whatever, because they thought they were probably, I don't know, hostile. But then they are dancing together, saw them, being in love, I guess. And they decided to, come out and greet them. And so they want to check up on their fellow Micronauts, and they are safe. They wrecked the place. So that was fun. So the aliens explained that he says that they are coming to this planet to this is a proving ground for weapons and other machinery. He says on the surface we test mainly our shielding, hull metal parts, spacesuits, and the like. You must have noticed our array and test stands. Okay, so you are the one that basically blast them out of the space, and other devices as well. So he says, naturally we try to make the job as diverting and pleasing as possible. So we make up artful matrices in which the various elements of the tests are coordinated. And your dance was by far the loveliest variation, far beyond our meager talents to devise. You mean the dance was a computer simulation used to test weapons? Why, yes, he says. But then Ron says, I'm pretty tired. And he says, "So this isn't your planet. You didn't create this." And then the creature says, "No, the Maker created this planet." And we heard about the Maker in the last couple of issues. So I'm pretty sure I think we're gonna meet the Maker maybe at some point in the future, because they talk about the Maker a lot. So more about them too. And basically they're using the devices of the Maker to, I don't know, do this. The other ones comes and say, "Hey, get your hands off my friend." And Ron says, "Hey, these are friendly people, right? Take a notch down." So Ron says, "Listen, I'm tired. We all tired. We should rest. Contact our ship." And then Marionette says, "Arcturus, there's something I like to do first. Just one more, please." And on the desert floor, to ghost music in a past that never was, two figures dance under the wheeling stars for a while. That leads us to the spiral path. More on the Makers and the decision of Bug. All right, more space adventure. Guys, really cool. I like that. I had, to be honest, I had hoped it was a little bit more, I don't know, evil guys that running the place or something, But yeah, this is okay. Let me know in the comments what you think about this comic. Weird cover, by the way. Not something that I would probably use. It's confusing to look at, not very pleasing. But it is what it is. By the way, art by Kelley Jones. Yay. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.